everyone, welcome back to the Cornish Stitcher. My name is Ness, or Vanessa. If you are new here, welcome. I live in Cornwall in the southwest of England, in a small town about 7 miles from the coast, and I live in a multi-generational household with my parents, my 2 children, my husband. My children are 17 and just turned 12. Sadly, we have just had we've just lost one of our dogs. We had 2 dogs. Sadly, we just lost Janice on the 2nd of January, really suddenly. She was absolutely my dog, and I'm still not quite over the trauma of any of it. It's just heartbreaking when you lose. It's like losing a member of our family, which she was. So we still have 1 dog called Ika, who is crazy Labrador, 3 cats and a couple of fish. So if you're new here, you're welcome back. I just want to say a huge, overwhelming thank you to all the wonderful comments I had on my last video. It was totally heartwarming to have so many lovely comments about how happy you were that I was back, how not to let people get me down, how to kind of just brush off any trolls and negative comments, and just the lovely support that I've had. So a huge thank you. I just, as I say, was totally my heart was warmed and totally overwhelmed by what everybody had written. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you. Bear with me, I have a cat trying to come into the studio. Hang on. We're back. This is Alfred. He is 13 and he's a little bit of a proper ginger boy with a ginger catitude. I'll put him in there. He wants to go in the chair. There's a comfy chair here. He wants to go in there, preferably without knocking everything flying. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, where were we? So I seem to have a mark on my jumper. Apologies, I don't know where that's come from. Yeah. Anyway, it's only visible on camera. So I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and wonderful start to the new year. We had a quiet Christmas really, and it was just what was needed, so perfect. We have hit 2026 with on the ground running, with lots of plans afoot, which I will come on to, and just hoping for a really productive and restorative year really. So yes, let's get started. So we'll start with finished objects. One of my finished objects I'm going to have to put a picture up because I have a couple of photos that I'll put up, but the finished object I just remembered is in the car, so I don't have it to hand. So I had, for those of you who are new, you may not be aware, I have a yearly project with my really amazing friend Jen, and we make each other yarn advents. We give each other a mood board picture at the start of the year, and then it's up to us to create the advent for the other person. I gave Jen this picture, which I'll pop up, and it was more around I adore mushrooms, I adore all fungi. I have done for years and years and years before the current love of them seems to have gone everywhere, but I've loved them for years. I'm totally embracing the furore around them because it means I'm able to get things for the house, etc. But yes, so I gave her this picture more around colour inspiration and kind of inspiration for where to take the advent in terms of themes, and she did an amazing job. From the advent that she gave me, I was determined this year to keep it on track. I had 3 advents. I had one from Jen, one from greenlambkinyarn, which I had last year as well, the year before, and one from James Makes Yarn, which I love. More on that coming. And I love my greenlambkinyarn one. That's just that's a given. It's always amazing. Suzanne does brilliant dyeing of her yarn. So back to the one from Jen, and I was determined to keep up on track with one of them, which is exactly what I did last year. I used Suzanne's last year. Sorry, keep saying last year, but in 2024. and just this time I was determined to use Jen's. So I chose the Just Feels Festive shawl by Kalisha Ryan to do prior to Advent starting. I knew that I didn't want it quite as wide, so I shrunk it down, and we have a rule that we have 10 gram minis for each other. So I knew I wasn't going to have enough to do a very wide shawl and make it very long. So I shrunk the stitches down and did fewer rows, and it's just, I love it. I was determined to wear it at Christmas, and I dutifully did so at the beach, which are these pictures that I'll pop up, and it's brilliant. It's the warmest, it's from a variety of different dyers, so it's not one particular yarn producer, and it's just, I just love how all the colours have gone together. Jen tried to do a fade as best she could, and it was just, I love it. I love it. So it's wonderful. I've worn it lots, hence why it's in the car, and I look forward to many more days of wearing it. I love cold weather. I love the winter. I really struggle in the summer, so this is my time. Although today it's grey and rainy, which I also love, but it's quite mild, and I like a chilly day. So yeah, so that's one of my finished objects. The other finished object I'm wearing, so this is the juniper headband. I'll link it down below, and I love it. So within our yarn group, we have challenges to use the Pantone colour of the year, and as many of you will be aware, the Pantone colour of the year this year is a grey white. Not drastically inspiring, you'd say. So I decided to use it in this, and I bought this yarn from a new yarn shop not far from us in Devon. You may be aware of the shop Knit, with KNITT, which is in London, and they have just opened a second shop in Totnes in Devon. So we were determined, off we went to have a look, and I picked this up. It's a Sanders Garn yarn, pale, and I was like, that's perfect, that's my Pantone challenge. We all have a challenge to try and make one object per year, and this was mine. So I'm done for 2026. I've nailed it out the park in terms of time. This was a variegated mini. I have no idea where it was from, and this is a glittery mini, also from Stash. They were both in Stash, and I love it. There is a tale behind this, where we, on the 4th of January, we took Monty. Ethan had been prior, so Ethan is my 17-year-old, Monty is my just 12-year-old. As part of his 12th birthday present, he received tickets to go to Harry Potter Studios in London. So off we travelled in a very icy UK trip to Watford, where we stayed over, and we went to Harry Potter World, on Harry Potter Studios, on the Sunday morning, where we dutifully arrived, and they search your bags. Well, we had arrived early so that we could meet the rest of our party and go in together, but we needed to charge, we have an electric car, we needed to charge our car, we needed to be out of our hotel. So we thought, well, we'll just go for an hour and a half beforehand, grab a coffee, and I could knit, Monty could use his book, read his book, and so could Matt. Well, as we arrived at security, they do bag searches. That's quite normal within London attractions, big attractions in the UK for security. And I had this bag inside my handbag, and the guy pulled it out and said, oh, what's this? Well, this was attached to some circular needles, and I went, oh, it's my knitting. I'm going to take it to the cafe and do some knitting. And he went, no, they're offensive weapons. We will have to confiscate them. I said, sorry? He said, yeah, these needles are offensive weapons. Didn't even entertain my head. I wasn't going on an aeroplane, not for 1 minute did I think that they would do. At which point he tried to suggest that he would take the needles out of my knitting, at which point I may have said to him, if you do that, they will become offensive weapons. And so therefore the knitting had to be retrieved from him rather quickly and taken back to the car with haste. So this very nearly didn't, and I had gone up to, so I'd started here and I'd done to about here, and yeah, I was rather horrified at the thought that he was about to pull my needles out of colourwork knitting. I think he did understand in the end, but oh my goodness, yes, the horror was, oh yeah, was rather alarming to me. No, you're not taking my knitting. So this is, but it's now finished. So and I love it. It's really warm. It's in 4-ply. Yeah, I'll link the pattern down below. It's lovely. I think it was a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm sure it was a free pattern. Oh, I'll have a look. And then I had made a variety of Christmas projects, which was one of my whips that I'll talk about shortly had been started in the beginning of November and then had to be put completely to one side because I made a scarf using 4-ply granny stitch, triangle scarf using 4-ply, but obviously it was growing quite slowly. I made, which I'll put a picture up here, I made it out of West Yorkshire Spinners Silent Night sock yarn. It was beautiful, and then edged it with 2 pale sparkly minis that I'd got because it wasn't quite enough. I then made 2 ties, one for my brother-in-law and one for Matt to wear. Oh no, I made 3, and one for the boy's godfather for his Christmas present. So I made 3 ties. I made a hat for Matt, which I'll pop a picture up here of me. This hat was 2x2 rib. I'm not the biggest fan of rib, and by the time I'd finished a 2x2 rib hat in 4-ply, I was even less of a fan of rib. Let's just put it that way. I won't be doing rib by choice in a hat ever again. And I made him some mittens, which I designed with a cable just up the centre part, which he loves because he has to have his fingers free for doing lots of kind of technical work at work. So, but he's out and about, so he gets chilly, so he loves a fingerless mitt. So I made some fingerless mittens with some wool, that undyed natural Ryland wool, which I got from when we were at Cold Harbour Mill, and it was from a farm, a small regenerative farm called Mothercombe Farm, which I'll also link down below. Really good small yarn producers, and about regeneration of the land, but rewilding the land as well, which is a huge passion of Matt's, and mine, but really of Matt's. So yeah, so that was all part of my finished objects. And once Christmas was been and gone, I was able to now focus on my whips. So I have various whips. I have 3 blankets that are currently on the go, and they will be projects across the year. One is in here. Now, you may be aware that if you watch Davina on Little Workroom Crafts, you will be aware that I made her a yarn advent for her to open every day. And as a present to me to say thank you, she made me the most glorious project bag, which I wasn't expecting, and I really didn't need her to do that because I just did the advent just out of kindness for her, but this is just outstanding. I just love it, and it's one of my most treasured things now because it's been made with such love and such kindness and I just love it. But in here is my Sweet Shop blanket. So I've just finished this latest square and have made the decision that my Green Lambkin yarn advent from this current advent that I've just had is I need 24 squares for my Sweet Shop to be finished, and so I have 24 yarns. So this is the second yarn I'm using from there. I'm not using them in the day order that they came. I'm just going to add them in as I take them out the box. You may be aware I'm doing the Sweet Shop slightly differently. I was really struggling with picking up the stitches along the edges, and they didn't look neat and tidy at all. So I'm just making every square individually and then mattress stitching them together each time. So this is one of my Green Lambkin yarns being kept in my really, really special bag. And this is my next one. You can see it's sparkling, and I'm so excited. So my plan is to try and make 2 of those a month, but I'm ahead of schedule currently, so but that won't stay. It didn't stay last year. But that's one of 3 blankets. Monty's blanket, I was aiming to finish Monty's Elmer blanket. I'll pop a picture up for Christmas, and other things, particularly the hat, took over, and so I haven't finished it in time. He's fine about that. He didn't know that he was going to be trying to be finished. He didn't know that I was going to try and finish it for Christmas, so he's just aware that there is a blanket being made for him, and he gets it when it's finished. I think I've got about 2 rows to go, so not long. A couple of nights of granny squares and a couple of nights of stitching in, and it should be done. And then I'm doing, what's the third one? Oh, I'm making a Bat and Bear blanket with the Pixie Yarns Roots Club that I picked up last year. My intention was again to make it over the last 12 months. I have failed abysmally because of other projects, but I'm now back on it. However, advice. I picked up each of my sets of yarn from Pixie Yarn at yarn shows because I just love yarn shows and I love to go, and it just happened that they were being released each time. Unknown to me until, and I don't know how I missed this because it's just myself. It's a fibromyalgia brain, I suppose, the brain fog. But the first time I picked it up, I picked up the DK pack, and then the subsequent 3 times I've bought the quarterly packs, I've bought 4-ply. It's fine. I'm going to hold them double and they will be absolutely as beautiful as the DK versions. I love them. But yeah, just a word to the wise. If you're buying these things at shows, just check the yarn weight because you may fall foul of it. I'm glad I did it this way round. So I'd already done the 6 colours in DK, so that now I can just hold the 4-ply double. It's not a problem. If it had been the other way round, we might have been having a little bit of an issue and I may have been buying twice, but alas, we don't need to do that. This is good. So my main whip at the moment, I have 2. One is small, one is this one. So I'm joining in and joined in and was lucky enough to win the prize on the first week of the Cal. I'm joined in the crochet along for these. So these are the Fairy Light Mittens by Crafting with Mrs. Lamb. I'll link her below. You may have seen many people doing the Fairy Lights shawl, Advent shawl, over Advent and through Vlogmas, and she designed and released these mittens for the 4th of January, and it's a 2-week crochet along, but you can still join it. There's a quick project, and I'm holding it with the last 4 minis of my Advent from Jen, which she informs me are Lay Family Yarns Advent minis, which are Lay Family Yarn, if you don't know, are one of my favourite dyers. And so I'm held them singly, and it's a 4-ply pattern, and then you add a cuff here and a cuff here. I've made mine slightly shorter because I like the length that they are at, and I'm a really loose crocheter, so I had to miss, let's see, I think it's 4 rows at the back. 47, 8, 9, 5 rows. I had to miss 4 rows of the colour off because I was already at the width. But Crafting with Mrs. Lamb, she informs you of that, about where to measure them and things within the pattern. And this is the pattern. It's perfect for any of your minis that you've got in stash. Any leftover bits and pieces of sock yarn would be perfect. It's just brilliant. You need that and a contrasting colour. So I think you need 30 grams of each. It's in the pattern. And yeah, I'm loving it. So I've done one and I need to finish the other one, which won't take very long because it's an easy stitch, but it's beautifully made. It's beautifully written. The pattern's really easy to follow. And yeah, so that's whip number 1. Pop it back. Still living in my Christmas bag, but that's fine. Christmas can extend. I love Christmas. And then my other major whip currently is the Night Bloom sweater. So I started this by Espace Tricot, yeah. I started this in November just before I went on the Lay Family Yarn retreat, but then it had to stop. So I just got into the colour work and had to stop because of all the Christmas productions. And so now I'm back on it, and my aim, it's not going to happen. I am going to the little flock, or as Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit podcast would say, the wee flock. Awful accent, but she says the wee flock. And I think it's going to end up being known as the wee flock by everybody at this point. And I wanted to be able to wear this to the wee flock on the 31st of January. We are currently on the 15th of January as I record this today. Thursday the 15th, is that right? I think so. And that means I have 2 weeks and 2 days to finish it. It's not going to happen. I'm too much of a slow knitter, and because I haven't lost all my weight yet, there are a good number of stitches on this sweater. So I am knitting, which one am I doing? Which size? I can't remember. Size. So it's really size inclusive. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sizes, I think. And I am knitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the size 7. So, and this is it so far. So I've got it on a really small cable, really. I am loving this. I love colour work. I've learned now I absolutely adore doing colour work, and this colour work has just been fantastic. So the yarn I'm using is, for the mainstay of the cardigan, is this Orchard double knitting King Cole. I picked this up at Black Sheep Wools when we went there in the summer. We went there on our way to staying in Yorkshire. Never been to the actual craft barn before, and now the fact that they're in Lancashire is, it's hard. I want to go back all the time. It's probably a good job I can't, bear with me. It's probably a good job I can't go back all the time. Otherwise, my bank manager might have other ideas. However, so I'm using this Orchard. It is a mix of 55% merino superwash wool with 45% anti-pilling acrylic. It's got 290 meters on each ball. I can't remember how much I paid, and this is shade 5868. Yeah, and I love it. It's really soft. I've noticed a couple of my handmade hand-dyed stuff has started to pill in lots of ways, so I really wanted this one to last. However, my weight loss journey, news, is going quite well. So I've lost over a stone. I think we're up to about 1 stone 4 pound in the 6-week period, and I am fully aware that this is a very winter, maybe cool spring day, cool spring evenings jumper, and there's a high chance, with any luck, that this will not fit next winter. And so therefore, I'm going to take this off because I'm quite warm. Therefore, the pressure is on to make it. So I need to finish it ASAP, really. I have got, where have I got to go? Bear with, let me look. I've got 12.5 more rows to go before I split for the sleeves, and then I think it'll feel much easier, because at the moment there's like 460 stitches on this cable, and so once I split for the sleeves it'll be easy. But I am just on knit now, so it's easy. It's good TV knitting and good knitting when I'm trying to sort out children and arguing boys who bicker all the time. So bear with me, the cat now wants to go out. I'm back, he's gone. So yes, so I'm loving this as a project. It is, the colour work is now finished. There is a colour, let me see if I can show you. There is another repeat of the colour on the bottom here and at the base of the sleeves, but I'm not sure you can see that there. Hang on, let's just do it this way, because it is a paid for pattern. There, you can see that there's a stripe of colour at the bottom of the sleeves and a stripe of colour at the base of the jumper. So I'm just going round and round and round. This is these are my needle stoppers that came with my James Makes Yarn Advent, which I love. So that's living in here. This is living in a bag, which I love, which my fabulous friend Sue bought me. It's just wonderful for a big project. So yeah, so that is my main whip going forwards, and it's forcing me to be quite a monogamous crafter, which I'm not as general. I normally have sort of 5 or 6 whips on the go. And apart from the blankets, I've decided I need to just focus on that because of the pressing need for it to still be worn. So I don't want to have to unwind it all. Oh, the red, sorry, I forgot to tell you. The red of the colour work, this absolute gorgeous yarn, is from Yarn Unique in the shade Cranberry. Yes, Cranberry. I just love it. I now want to make a whole jumper in this colour. It's just beautiful, but I think it works really well with the green, the duck egg blue, green blue, you choose. And so, yes, so I'm loving doing that. Now, many of you will, if you watch Ammo over on PawfectPastimes, I'll link her below, you will know that my son, Monty, and my husband, Matt, were tasked at the Stitch Fest Southwest yarn show. So Monty had to unexpectedly come because he was supposed to be staying with Matt, but then Matt had to come because, anyway, it's by the by. They both had to come to the yarn show. So rather than have a bored then 11-year-old, I tasked them, I gave them a set budget, and which they blew, and then they blew their own money as well, which was lovely. I gave them a budget to make me a Christmas Eve box, of which they put into a box, and I'll pop a picture here of what it looked like at the time. It's now being stored in this bag so that I remember to bring it out to show you. But they did really well, and I love these things. So first of all, they got me, it's here, this wonderful crochet hook from Cozy 20s Hooks, and I will link Lizzie below. So Lizzie is a really young business owner of this wonderful crochet and accessory business, and I love her hooks. She will personalize them for you. She's at quite a few shows this year, so if you see her, go and say hi and give her some support. She has these sold individually. She'll do you custom hooks. She's brilliant. So they bought me this one, which was 3.5 mil, which that was the only guidance they had, is if you decide to buy me any crochet hooks, please buy me 3.5, because I've got quite a few 4s. That was the only guidance I gave them. So they gave me that. Then I opened it all in bits and pieces. So, oh, there's quite a bit in here. Bear with. Stop the rattling. So, they got me this skein of wool, and this is from Brent Fox Yarns, and it's called Coloured by Nature. Bear with me, I need to take my glasses off. So it's a rare breed Cotswold from a registered flock in Gloucestershire, dyed with elderberries, spun at Curly Weavers, hand wash, pH neutral, and there's 100 grams on here, approximately, oh no, sorry, there's 74 grams on here, and 100 grams is approximately 300 meters. So this, that's true colour. It's lovely. And with that came the pattern for, as she sent the pattern for these mittens. And I think I might actually use this to make those mittens, because they're really lovely and I really like them. And Monty, I think, expects me to make those mittens using the yarn that he purchased for that reason. So that was really nice to open. Oh, and then it came with a little label to pop in them. They got me this from Maggie and Me. They got me some gingerbread biscuit crochet patterns. So I think I can make all of these in this book. So this is a project for next Christmas for the tree. So I promised Monty I will make them all and put them on the tree. So that would be good to use up some stash yarns. this was a real surprise. They bought me from Pineapple Fibre Arts a blossom earring kit. So I'm really, really interested in doing this. I presume it's in that colourway. Don't know. Should we have a look? Let's have a look. I haven't opened it. Oh, I'll open it and then I won't be able to stick it back down, which means I'll have to then make it. So, oh no! Oh no! It's not. It's not in that colour. Oh my goodness! I wonder if they knew this. I'm gonna have to ring Matt and ask him. It's pink. And if anyone knows me and been here a while will know. Why is it not focusing? You will know I love pink. Pink is my colour, pink and blue. So they were doing really well with the blue, and then they bought me pink. Ooh. And then it's got all the bits and pieces inside. So it's got all the hooks to make the earrings and the instructions. So, oh, I'm really excited now. I didn't realise it was pink. It's only taken me 3 weeks to open it. I didn't want to open it because I didn't want its bits to fall out. Seal it back down. Press the sticker back down. Oh, that's exciting. And then the final thing that was in there, I think this was the final thing, was my I love Second City Yarns. Jo at Second City Yarns, she is a phenomenal dyer and she uses non-superwash wool. And if you've never visited her website or her stand at yarn shows, you must. She has, her whole stand is based on stories of Birmingham, hence Second City Yarns, and predominantly around a bus route around the city, which is a really famous bus route. But she also does other kind of guest yarns along the way, and her yarn is just beautiful. And they know that I like Jo's yarn, so they went here and they with this. Now this is a particular colourway. This is in support of the Gazan refugees and supporting around Palestine, and hence the colours. And I love them. Monty is nagging me already. You haven't used your yarn. I think, oh goodness me. So what I'm thinking, I might make some stripy socks with them. I might make something else. I don't know. There's approximately 280 meters here of 4-ply. I love it. I love the colours anyway, but I love them even more because of their meaning. So I'm not really sure. Any ideas? Pop them below. Pop them down below for any ideas that you could think of. Maybe a cowl using 4. Yeah, I could do a cowl. Anyway, I'll pop those away. But I love them. I'll link Jo down below. So yes, it was a wonderful surprise to open. I think they did really, really well. I think I will give them the same challenge later this year to do. Might even give them the challenge to do one for my birthday, because they always struggle, and so if I take them to a yarn show, they're pretty much guaranteed to succeed, aren't they? So plans for 2026. I'm just reaching to my pen board. Plans for 2026 are slightly ambitious. Let's just put it that way. I have, and I'm fully aware that I have far too many things on this list. It's a very colourful list. But this list that I will not achieve, I don't think. But I'm going to go through them and we can have it. This headband, because it was a 2026 completion, was it a 2026 commencement? I think I started it just as the new year turned. So yeah. So I think it was fully to 2026 and I've done it. So I've ticked that off. And on there is, I will read out. My colourwork jumper, which obviously I've shown you. My Sweet Shop blanket, Monty's blanket and the Pixie Yarn blanket are all on here as long-term projects. And then I'll go through the rest of the plans. So we, my knit group that meets on a Tuesday evening in the pub, have all decided we're going to have a group make of the Ooey Gooey cowl. And the plan is to then wear them to the big flock. Now, I am aware that the big flock is being held in May, so therefore the need for a cowl is probably not going to be there, but that's the plan. We're going to make it because we have some crocheters who are going to try and do knitting, so we have to give them a bit of time, and also us slow knitters like myself a bit of time who've got other projects on the go. So the plan is to make the ooey gooey cowl. I'll show you here and I'll link it down below. It's everywhere. There's the ooey gooey jumper, an ooey gooey cowl, some ooey gooey socks, all lovely. I then want to make the No cowl, which I'll pop here, which is a design by Kate Davies, which I love. And it's kind of, I've decided, although there are some garments on my list for later in the year, for currently, because of the need for weight loss, etc., I don't want to make any more jumpers at this point of the year until I know roughly where I'm going to be size wise in terms of weight loss for the end of the year. So this is a perfect compromise. It's a garment, but it's not a garment that will be tossed aside if I've lost too much weight. I can layer it up, I can put it on top of a coat if I need to, etc. I'm making this in some yarn again I picked up at Totnes. It's a lovely deep grey and a babyish pink for the colour work, and I'm really excited to start that. I'm itching to start it because it's colour work. I want to make a mohair cardigan, or the mohair novice cardigan, petite knits, Pearl Soho, petite knits I think. I'll pop it here and I'll put the link in the bottom. But I'm going to use some deep stashed James C. Brett for that, because I've got that deep in stash that needs to be used. I've got some cotton. I would like to make a cotton cardigan for the summer. That's more inexpensive cotton, not hand dyed, commercial yarn that will give me something to throw over. That's a crochet one. I have a design in my head for a headband that I really want to make and then put the design out, so that's on this list. I have the yarn for an Aran tee, which I'll pop up here, and I've got the yarn in red, drops red, and I just really want to make that, so that's on there. I want to make I've got some Wool and the Gang sparkly deep navy that I want to use to make probably a toaster or a lento for next Christmas, for this Christmas coming, 12 months time. I want to make something with my advent from James, but that will be in the second half of the year, because again I don't want to make it and then not be able to wear it. I would love to make a toaster using my yarn minis that I got from everybody when we did our yarn dyeing at Lay Family Yarn, but equally I'd love to do an autumnal one with this colourway that I picked up when I was at the dyeing studio as well. That will need to be either held with something else or striped with another colour, probably in all fairness held with something else, maybe a mohair, rusty mohair for an autumnal jumper. And last but not least, every time I go to a yarn show and I see the guys from Yarny Octopus, I have 2 of their beautiful skeins, and I still am not sure what to make with them. So I think I'm going to make a shawl, and that's on my list definitely, to use one of their skeins from my single skein stash to make a shawl. Yeah. That's fine, isn't it? That's quite an ambitious, but probably not achievable list for 2026, but we will see. And in amongst all of that, I need to maybe try and expand the business side of things here, so I will be talking about bag making and other things that I want to do in 2026, printing my own fabrics, yeah, things like that. So I think I've probably waffled on for long enough now, and I've got quite a lot of editing to do, where I've gone, oh yeah, I'll show you the picture here. The editing nest is going to be cursing this present nest, but so be it. I hope that you're all having a wonderful start to 2026, and that you're all really well, and that you're all having a wonderful time crafting. And yeah, I'm hoping to try and be here far more regularly and frequently. What I'm thinking I might do is potentially do one of these kind of roundup videos once a month possibly, and then maybe a more vloggy style maybe visiting some local yarn shops, maybe visiting some places in Cornwall, still obviously with a crafting theme, and go from there. But we'll see how we get on. So yes, thank you very much for joining me, and give me a like, and if you want to, give me a subscribe. Yeah, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.